Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, Executive Editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with fabulous concert programs number 19. Wow. And as some of you know, as you all know, who am I kidding? We're going through the Vaughan Williams symphonies to find optimal ways to present all 9 of the little suckers, plus a bonus. Getting close to it. And we're up to Symphony number 5. And Symphony number 5, we've talked about it a lot recently because we've done a survey of it, and it seems to come up pretty regularly, basically because it's so unbelievably gorgeous, and everybody adores it, and it's impossible not to love, and it's such an intimate, spiritual, luminous piece. It's really unique in the repertoire, and that makes it hard to program, I think. I really do. It's really not a second half piece. I mean, it's hard to precede it with anything that's going to actually offset it in kind of a positive way that won't make it sound anticlimactic unless you do something that's completely tedious and uninteresting. And you don't want to do that because it is an intimately scaled work written for a relatively small orchestra. And it has a quiet ending and lots of softness. And so it's very easy to make it sound less interesting than it really is. You must begin with it. I really believe that. I think the audience has to be fresh. It has to be ready to take it all in. And so I would start the program with Vaughan Williams' Fifth only by itself, all by itself on the first half of the program. Because after it, too, you need a little moment to go, oh. So you have intermission, and you go have a good time, and then you come back. And for the second half, now what are we going to do for the second half? Again, I am totally opposed to doing some sort of like romantic blockbuster or like Sturm und Drang, effusion after this symphony. I want it not to be overshadowed by everything else, but by the same token, the other stuff has to be interesting in and of itself and full of its own contrast. And so I have chosen 2 works. First, Haydn's Cello Concerto No. 1. This gives you the opportunity to engage a zippy solo cellist that people might want to come hear, and it's just a great work. It's Haydn's greatest concerto aside from the trumpet concerto, and maybe the D major piano concerto with the Hungarian finale. But basically those are, let's say, the 3 big Haydn concertos. The Cello Concerto No. 2, which was the more famous of them until No. 1 was discovered in like 1960, believe it or not, or the 50s or something like that. It's not as interesting a piece. I mean, it's decent. It's a good work for sure. But Cello Concerto No. 1 is fresh and perky, but drawn to scale. It's not going to overshadow the Vaughan Williams Fifth. And then to round out the program, Ravel's Mother Goose ballet, mère, the complete thing, the complete ballet. It's only 28 minutes long, but it's a beautifully shaped work with cyclically recurring motives. And more than that, it's magical and enchanting in its own way, in a similar way to the Vaughan Williams. Remember, Vaughan Williams studied with Ravel. Not that that means anything. But the work itself has its own magic, enchantment, beauty, purity, a lot of the same qualities of the Vaughan Williams, but it's completely different. I mean, it's based on fairy tales. It's a ballet. The Vaughan Williams is anything but danceable. The Vaughan Williams is about inward spirituality, and this is about magical, transformational imagination and all of those things. And it's just exquisite. And it's also written for a comparatively small orchestra. So, but a very different one from the Vaughan Williams. It has lots of percussion. It has harps and celestas running around. And so, it's not going to sound the same either. But the magic that it casts is very similar. And so the entire program, I think, is just magical. Absolutely magical. Even the Haydn Cello Concerto is magical. Delightful, wonderful, refreshing, and invigorating program of mostly gentle music, but one that has enough contrast so that it will be consistently interesting and captivating and ear-catching, and no one work will overshadow the other in a way that will diminish its impact on the audience. That's my guess. So I'm very curious to see how it works with you. I've done this at home. I've played this program, and I think it works really, really well. I think these pieces really go together and they really sustain the listener's interest. I'm curious to know what you think too if you try it at home. Give it a shot, see what you think. And as always, if you're looking for recording recommendations for these things, have a look at the reviews on classicstoday.com. You'll find a plethora of recording recommendations that way, all of which you'll probably be able to find using streaming services if you don't already have them in your own collection. So keep on listening, friends. Thank you so much for joining me. Take care.